Marco Rubio wants JD Vance gone. Marco Rubio wants JD Vance humiliated. Marco Rubio wants JD Vance destroyed. The headlines are not doing it justice right now. I mean, there are headlines like this. Rubio lets Vance take the fall as Iran deal questions mount. Or this headline, Rubio gives Iran deal the silent treatment by the Washington Examiner. But let's examine this more closely. The job of the Secretary of State is to literally be involved in these types of high-profile negotiations, and Rubio doesn't want to touch it. It's not simply an abdication. It is a trap being set for JD Vance, knowing that Donald Trump can comply with any agreement at all. So as these negotiations are now taking place on the so-called technical details to implement the Memorandum of Understanding in Switzerland, the entire crew that's there on behalf of the United States is now JD Vance, Steve Witkoff, and Jared Kushner, like the three biggest losers. And the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, that's quite literally what your job would be, refuses to show up to it, refuses to join JD Vance. On behalf of Iran, you have MB Ghalibaf, the most important civilian figure in all of Iran, along with some of Iran's top technical experts and leaders who are just there getting ready to outmaneuver JD Vance, Kushner, and Witkoff. I mean, Kushner and Witkoff said, a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, they were going to visit some nuclear facilities in the United States to try to learn how nuclear dilution and enrichment and downgrading works. And it was like out of a bad sitcom script or like a bad movie script. Two guys go to a nuclear facility to learn how to negotiate in the first place. And so Marco Rubio, I think, wants to see JD Vance get completely outmaneuvered in these technical discussions because I think Rubio sees that JD Vance would be a potential opponent in an upcoming 2028 Republican primary, and he wants to see JD Vance get humiliated. You have JD Vance getting on this small Gulfstream C-37 all by himself. I mean, just think about that. I mean, this isn't even the vice president's plane. He gets on a small Gulfstream C-37 to go to Switzerland. I mean, just even the optics of it look horrible. But JD Vance realizes what's going on here. As JD Vance was getting on the plane, he kind of blamed Marco Rubio for the fact that there was not a ceasefire that's really been able to be effective in Lebanon, and JD Vance tries to blame Rubio for that as Rubio tries to set up JD Vance for the Memorandum of Understanding. They're both kind of going after each other, not necessarily so overtly, but it's pretty obvious if you pay attention to what's going on. I'll give you this example. So JD Vance, as he was getting on the plane, he blames basically Marco Rubio and saying, well, Rubio's the one who's dealing with Lebanon. So I'm going to go and I'm going to try to negotiate two narrow issues. Listen to what he says. I'm going to try to deal with some of the nuclear issues, and I'm going to try to deal with the Lebanon issue. That's what I'm going to focus on. But I'm only going to be there for a day or so because I know Rubio's going to be the one. You see how they're like trying to pass the blame back and forth? Let's take a listen to what JD Vance said. And hat tip over here, this Ryan Rosani account try to lift up JD Vance's voice because it was in front of all the turbulence of the plane. Listen to what Vance says here. Listen very carefully. Let's play this clip right here so you can hear for yourself. Play it.
Look forward to start technical talks with the Iranians, the Pakistanis, and the Qataris. Our understanding is that the Iranians just landed, the Qataris, the Pakistanis, and some of our technical negotiators have been on the ground. But look, we'll have a couple days of talks. We're going to get this thing kicked off in the right way. There's a lot to discuss, but we're going to go through it all.
Sir, the fighting in Lebanon seems to upend the entire process. What do you want to do about that?
Well, Marco and the entire team have been actively managing what's going on in Lebanon despite the headlines. Things are actually getting better there. Things have calmed down a little bit. It's going to be something we're just going to have to continuously manage to ensure that, Israel and Lebanon are both safe and secure. That's fundamentally the goal of this, to make the whole region safe and secure. The big problem is that you have somebody will shoot, and then somebody will respond, and you kind of have a chicken neck problem where you've just got to stop the season for long enough to get the fire to hold. That's what we're going to try to do. With people looking at it, things have got better.
Sir, what if you need to more specifically about your schedule or something like that? What would get you to success in check for you?
Well, I think it's number one, just getting things set up in the right way and getting the actual structure of the negotiation in place. So the way that we're going to do this is that we're going to have a principal level political leadership at the top, and then obviously expectations to stay on the ground. As much as I might like to stay and what appears to be a beautiful place, I can only be there for a day or two. I think we're hopefully making progress on the nuclear issue, make progress on the Lebanon ceasefire issue. Those are the two big things that I think we're going to be focused on. I'm sure the Iranians are going to have this they'd like to discuss.
Now, you saw Marco Rubio's face at the G7, right? Marco Rubio was there as Donald Trump was signing the MOU in Versailles. But Rubio, tried to remain basically emotionless and try to show visually his displeasure. So look at Rubio behind Donald Trump as Trump was talking about this. Let's play this clip.
Iran's waiting for them. They're waiting for them. And they never saw them. 1 o'clock in the morning, they never saw them. They're stealth. And we just ordered 22 more. The newer, upgraded version, which I guess is better. I don't know how the hell you get better.
And then Rubio leaked to the press, along with John Ratcliffe, the CIA director, the following. Ratcliffe isn't the only skeptic in Trump's team. Secretary of State Rubio and Hegseth expressed concerns and raised questions about the deal in internal discussions, while VP Vance and U.S. envoys Witkoff and Jared Kushner advocated for it. And of course, you know who they went with. They went with Barack Ravid to share that story. This is the latest polling data, though, right now, and Rubio's paying attention to this as well. That Rubio, his polling is increasing while JD Vance right now is decreasing, just as JD Vance is more associated with this memorandum of understanding. Here, let's play this clip.
This is the general electorate, but Vance's net favorability rating in Ohio, you go back to the 2024 election, he was at plus 5 points. Even in Ohio, in JD Vance's home state, among the electorate overall, he is underwater among independents. Look at this. He's 27 points underwater. JD Vance, not so popular in the Buckeye State.
Problems at home.
Yes.
How about his net approval overall?
Yeah, how about his net approval rating overall? There's all this discussion. JD Vance writes essentially, the childless cat ladies, right? That was the thing he very much regretted, almost regretted more than anything else. You might say, okay, how's he doing among women, among men? Well, he's underwater with both of them. Among men, he's slightly underwater at minus 2 points. Of course, if you're a Republican, you need to be popular with men if you're going to win a national election. Among women, he is way underwater. He's 26 points underwater. And the gender gap in the Quinnipiac University poll, when you matched him up against other Republicans in the Trump cabinet, the highest, the largest gender gap, it actually belonged to JD Vance. He doesn't need to win women if he's going to win in 2028, but he can't be this unpopular among them.
Yes.
Now that the kids in my family are playing sports, I looked into brain health to make sure that all of those hits in football or headers in soccer wouldn't result in long-term damage. And that's how I found Q-Collar. This podcast is sponsored by Q-Collar. The Q-Collar is a revolutionary product that is the only FDA-cleared device in its category to help protect the brain from the effects of impacts during sports. There's truly nothing else like this on the market. At this point, you might be thinking, isn't that why you wear a helmet? Well, a helmet protects the head. The Q-Collar helps protect the brain. How it works is simple. The Q-Collar applies light pressure to the neck, slightly increasing blood volume in the skull, which helps reduce brain movement during impacts. The Q-Collar is backed by 25 plus peer-reviewed independent research studies, so it's science you can trust. Think about it like a seatbelt for your brain. My nephew wore his Q-Collar for his first season of contact football, and it worked perfectly. And Q-Collar can be used in 20 plus sports, from football to lacrosse to skiing. If there's contact involved, Q-Collar can probably be beneficial for you. The safety of my kids and loved ones is my top priority, so Q-Collar was an easy choice. I love when a product is backed by science and not phony promises. From NFL players like running back Tony Pollard, All-Pro cornerback Sauce Gardner, to even Premier Lacrosse League adopting Q-Collar as their brain injury protection partner, the Q-Collar is trusted by the top athletes around the world. And Q-Collar is FSA, HSA eligible, so you can put those dollars to work. So when you're getting your family ready for the next season, think helmet, mouthguard, and Q-Collar. Head to q30.com/Meidas and use code Meidas for a free sleeve with your order. Once again, that's q30.com/Meidas for a free sleeve available in 15 colors with your order.
Now let's talk about what Rubio's focus, though, has been. Rubio's focus has been invading Cuba. Rubio's focus has been trying to maintain and project imperialistic dominance over Venezuela. And one of the things he's also been focused on as well is trying to tamper with and manipulate with other elections in the Western Hemisphere. The latest story about Rubio, memo, this is New York Times reported, a memo by Marco Rubio approved the detention of a high-profile Colombian immigrant who criticized one of Donald Trump's allies. Marco Rubio said that Beto Corral's criticism of Donald Trump's right-wing candidate in the Colombia elections undermined U.S. foreign policy to try to get Beto Corral to be deported. So this past week, this hasn't gotten enough attention. The Trump regime detained Colombian immigrant by the name of Beto Corral, a very well-known, influential Colombian figure who supports the current president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, and he is supportive of the candidate who would be Cepa, who would be part of Gustavo Petro's administration in the upcoming elections that are now taking place. He's been very critical of the right-wing candidate, Abelardo de la Espriella, the right-wing candidate backed by Donald Trump. And so Rubio had Corral arrested for speaking negatively about the right-wing Colombian candidate. And that runoff is now taking place right now. Trump's candidate is nicknamed El Tigre. And so Rubio had this very high-profile immigrant who was here lawfully and then who was going through a lawful asylum process. He was here since like 2015. Rubio had him is now having him get detained and get deported. We all remember this moment right here a month or so ago at the White House Club Rose Garden, that they call it, where Donald Trump polled the crowd. Who likes JD? Who likes Marco Rubio? Here, play this clip.
So we got a lot of beauties out there, JD. I envy you and other people. I don't know. Who's it going to be? Is it going to be JD? Is it going to be somebody else? I don't know. Does anybody have? Okay, let's go. You ready? Who likes JD Vance? Who likes Marco Rubio? All right. Sounds like a good ticket. JD, that was a perfect ticket. By the way, I do.
And of course, you remember Marco Rubio trying to stick with kind of Western Hemisphere invasion and imperialism. Remember what he said when he was asked about, is Greenland part of Denmark, and what he had to say. Let's play this clip.
That the UK had suffered more.
More per capita.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay. And I assume you're aware that Greenland is indeed part of Denmark.
For now.
Okay. Well.
And during Marco Rubio's last appearance before the United States Senate, Senator Rosen was questioning Rubio about his refusal to go to like these critical negotiations. Rubio was also not there at the April Pakistan mediation. Rubio refused to show up there. Rubio's refusing to show up yesterday and today in Switzerland. I mean, it's a total abdication, but the whole plan is throw JD Vance under the bus. Here's what Senator Rosen said. Play this clip.
I'd like to remind the American people that as the Secretary of State, your main duty as America's chief diplomat is to maintain our relations with foreign nations. This is why I was shocked to see that you were at a party with President Trump in Miami instead of accompanying Vice President Vance to Pakistan for negotiations.
What party was I at? I was at a party?
It's publicly reported, and there's photos there.
But
In
what
fact,
party?
Steve
No,
Witkoff
but you're going to
and
say that. I'm
Jared
going to answer it. I'm going to answer
But
that
let me
question because
finish
that's an
my
absurd statement. I was not at a
If I
party.
finish my paragraph, he,
All right.
he can answer.
People are going to
In fact,
slander me. I'm going to answer
Steve
it.
Witkoff and Jared Kushner, both of whom were never confirmed by this body to be America's diplomats, accompanied the vice president in the negotiations. Even Iran's foreign minister was not there, yet was there, and you were not. I just feel that's embarrassing for us, and it's embarrassing for you. So, Mr. Secretary, Congress represents the American people. We have the power to confirm who represents America abroad. We confirmed you to be our Secretary of State. We confirmed you to be in the negotiations that are happening. And it's just unthinkable to me that you are missing high stakes negotiations or that you're not involved. It's sad.
Senator Rosen, your
excluded.
time's up.
Yield back.
But
So let me just-
Senator Secretary Rubio,
You're
should have the
100%
opportunity to
inaccurate
reply.
and 100% wrong. Here's why. Number one, the Vice President of the United States was there, and he wasn't confirmed by us, and he was elected by the American people. Okay? He is the second in line of the presidency of the United States. He was present. Mr. Witkoff is the president's envoy for negotiation for peace deals. Mr. Kushner is a private citizen that serves as an advisor on these functions. They were the team that we sent to Pakistan. I was not at a party. Where I was is next to the president. Because in the midst of those negotiations, I was in communications with them. And in fact, I think there is media reporting from that evening on how on multiple occasions I went into a back room, I came back out and spoke to the president and was constantly updating him. On that evening, I spoke to Mr. Kushner and our negotiating team and Mr. Witkoff on at least 6 occasions, including twice on a secure line from the phone they had access to over there. So you don't know what you're talking about. You're just
Senator
making
Rosen,
stuff up.
he has the floor.
I know your
Please.
staff wrote up this cute statement for your TikTok video, but it's not true and it's not real. That's not what happened. Okay. I'm the National Security Advisor and Secretary of State. I was co-located with the president in the midst of a high stakes negotiation so that I could immediately inform him about events occurring halfway around the world. I was where I needed to be at that moment because we had a very capable team on the ground in Pakistan led by the Vice President of the United States.
And then JD Vance is now also trying to throw it on Kushner and Witkoff. And he goes, my understanding talking to Steve and Jared is that things are going really well. The Strait of Hormuz, things are going great over there. And so he's trying to blame them. He blamed Rubio. So you see what's happening here, right? Here, play this clip.
So that's the first part of the negotiation. My understanding, talking to Jared and Steve this morning, is things are going well. But of course, we're going to verify all of this. And that's the thing that, a lot of the criticisms of the deal have really underappreciated is that the United States has all the cards. The straits are now open. The Iranian military is now destroyed. The Iranians have committed to, of course, destroying that stockpile of enriched material. But we have a lot of economic pressure applied to the Iranians that we would be willing to relieve if they do what we need them to do. If they don't do that, of course, there's no skin off our back. They're still in a much weakened position.
And finally, one of the things that Rubio is doing as well is Rubio is wearing that same White House, the same outfit, rather, that Maduro wore when Maduro was captured, the Maduro Nike Tech. And so Rubio wants to reinforce the message that, like, look, Donald, I'm the Venezuela guy. JD Vance is the Iran guy, and then try to reinforce that with voters as well. So that's what's going on right now. We'll keep you posted every step of the way. Hit subscribe, and let's get to 7 million subscribers. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Support independent media and unlock exclusive content, ad-free videos, and custom emojis by becoming a paid member of our YouTube channel today. You can also gift memberships to others. Let's keep growing together.